Hello, everybody, and welcome to Big Feats live in Los Angeles. I, of course, am Big Feats. I'm proud to introduce our new logo, our third show in, if you can see it. It's rather lovely. Let me give you a little background on what Big Feats is about. I am Hollywood's veteran Bigfoot actor. I've performed Bigfoot characters that I've brought to life for Universal, Harry and the Hendersons, Disney, Warner Brothers, Sony Pictures, you name it, I'm the Bigfoot guy. So, I created a character named Big Feats to be the mascot for the environment. Interestingly, the Earth has no mascot for the environment. In a world that loves mascots, we don't have one. So I formulated a solution whereby we can try to do some things to really make a difference. One of which is Save the Mascot program. You know, it becomes disheartening when we hear that the Earth is losing between what? You know, scientists quibble. Experts quibble, whether we lose 35 species a day or whether we lose 200 species a day. But at the end of the day, you know, one is too many. And if it keeps up at this rate, it's just a matter of time because we're all inextricably linked and it's going to affect our the food chain that we all have. And sooner or later, you know, we're going to be on the endangered species list. So Saving the Mascot is a program that Big Feats is initiating whereby children in school can save their endangered mascots. Universities, if you got a tiger, there's less than 3,500 of them alive left in the wild. You got to get out there and play Big Feats program and save that tiger. Lakers, let's save some lakes. Okay, Miami Heat, let's talk about global warming. So we're going to get into that and a lot more. As you know, last week was our first international broadcast. We went to the rainforest and we talked to Goodwill Ambassador Nigel Miguel. Nigel Miguel is not only good, he's a legend. He's a sports legend. He's a head of the film director. He does the film festivals in Belize, and he's now flown into Los Angeles, and we're waiting for him to come knocking on our door at any minute. The other individual that was our guest star is in studio with us right now is Clyde Gillette. Clyde, round of applause.
Good morning. Glad to be here again, of course, you know, on this mad crusade for Big Feats.
Well, Clyde is an award-winning filmmaker, and it's about the environment, and that's what this show was about, basically. You know, Big Feats' mission is to inspire others to big feats. And Clive, why don't you reintroduce yourself to our listeners and our viewers, and so we can get our big feats going.
Indeed. Again, my name is Clyde Gillette. I'm originally from Belize City, Central America, where, of course, Big Feats continuality needs to actually be there as well to be able to give a full connectivity to what is at stake. And coming from Belize, you know, which is an eco-friendly paradise, which is known to the world as the green zone, it is our duty for the Belizeans, the inhabitants, to jump on board to this cause, which inadvertently shows us ways of how we can protect our environments and the species that lives for future generations to be able to endure the wonders that God have created for us. And this really is about God's wonders and how we continue to cherish it in some ways. And Big Feat takes it upon himself to offer himself as being that champion, the crusader in this particular cause. Again, I won the 2011 Best Belizean Film Award titled Within the Shadows of Belize, A Green Day Rises. And I titled that because in the midst of all the struggles that we have, the Green Day is looking towards those things that we can grow from. Mm-hmm. And this is one of those challenges that we can grow from by the participation of all the listeners and the viewers out there in the audience, that, you know, to take heed to what is at stake. The project was such a success that UCLA inducted into the Charles E. Young Research Library forever. For those people who want to ever encounter Belize, they can always go to the UCLA library and get a little background research in regards to how to enter into the country, how to deal with the inhabitants of the country, and of course how to treat the environment.
It's a wonderful film, man. I got to tell you, man. I see why I won an award, man. The world has to see it. As a matter of fact, at some point we got to figure out a way where you can provide a link for the world. Maybe on the crowdfunding campaign, people pay $5. They see your link and they get to see the private premiere of the movie right there live.
Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to that as well. You know, in the challenge.
You know, we have another star here, and that's our engineer, Mark. And Mark is going to be here helping. Mark's got his own Big Feats. Mark, would you cue up that endangered creatures list for us, man, and show our viewers exactly what we're talking about, man? I mean, The first time I saw this list, I was just mortified. You can scroll through it, man. I mean, you start with the A's. It's disheartening to know that this many endangered species. We're talking about animals, plants, insects. I got to tell you. First, I was shocked to learn that there were so many endangered species. Then it hit me, and I said, well, now I'm angry that this would happen on man's watch and that nobody knows about this by and large. That the media, I mean, we hear about somebody dying on the news, but an entire species, arguably whether it's 3,500 or 200 of them per day, I mean, we should hear about that.
Wow.
Then I had to take a step back and say, well, you know what? If they were to give us this news, I mean, exactly what could we do about it? First, the emotion would be we'd feel sad, disheartened, and upset, and then what? Become callous because there's nothing that we can do about it. And so I, as an educator, because I taught school in LA Unified for a number of years, I created a curriculum so that every day I tried to inspire my own students. I created a Bigfoot character named Big Feats, F-E-A-T-S, to inspire them to Big Feats. And our enduring lesson plan was for them to come up with ways to study about an endangered species, right? That's one. After they studied about matter of fact, Clyde, that's something that we initiated last week and that Nigel's going to expound upon. I'm going to give you the little Big Feats Call of the Wild contest and how it goes. Number one, find and make a new endangered friend. Learn all you can, then use Big Feats' superpowers to speak with them. See, Big Feats is the only creature on Earth that has the ability to speak on behalf of endangered species. So when he's around you, he's able to give you those abilities to be able to communicate with those and give them a voice that don't have it. So number two on the list is, please select one or more friends to play so that you can win. Write a poem, a jingle, rap, or sing a song. Just keep it clean and you can't go wrong. Give plants, animals, ecosystems, oceans, forests a voice. If you help humans meet them, we can help save them. There really is no other choice. Tell jokes if you or your animal choice is funny, or launch a crowdfunding campaign to help raise them some money. Draw, paint, or take a picture to help the world to understand, tweet or sign language, what they say about extinction to help man understand. Put their face on Facebook, your Facebook page, or make a viral video on YouTube. Share your link to endangered to tell us what they think. Whatever you choose, please don't forget to send your Big Feats to Big Feats about your world, about your new friends. So that's the contest.
Oh, that's an amazing contest right there.
It's a global contest. Now, I was blessed to be able to play professional basketball in over 35 countries. I've been to, and my heart goes out to the Philippines. I played in Araneta Coliseum with legends. Boggs Arenado, Hall of Fame Filipino player. Ricardo Brown, Hall of Fame Filipino player. Norman Black is there. Norman, if you hear me, man, I'm with you. We got to do something, man, to try to, raise some money and raise some awareness of what you guys are going. For those of you that don't know about Filipino basketball, I got to take a second. I got cut by the Lakers in 1979. Magic Johnson and I were rookies together. I got cut from that championship team, and I'm okay that they went on to win the championship without me. However, when I went to the Philippines, the Forum sat 17,505 by way of attendance. Araneta Coliseum, where they held the Thriller in Manila, was 35,000 people per game, brother. I was never afraid. I stepped on the basketball court like 2 hours early to play some basketball. There were 20,000 people there already, man. And they had already made bets as to, I was going to make my first warm-up shot. You walk in the gym and say, I'm going to play make-believe. You got 20,000 people there, man. So the adrenaline starts. And that with the humidity, it's a tough place to play. But basketball is a national sport.
Indeed.
And I'm going to bring some pictures in here with Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao, man, I love this guy. I've been hammering Manny because The Philippine eagle is critically endangered. Like the United States eagle was endangered at one time, but we got that off the endangered species list. The Philippine eagle is critically endangered, and I would like Manny to be the official voice for the Philippine eagle. And maybe if we can work that out, that can be a way to raise some money. We can do that through merchandising. Matter of fact, Mark, could you show the picture that we have about the apparel line that we want to come out to help raise money and awareness for the endangered world that we live in?
Real briefly, when you touched post with the our hearts go out to the victims of the typhoon in the Philippines. I'm reminded of how nature, again, the typhoon is another form of nature that has its own course in creating and realigning things in the world as today as we have. So, I can imagine how many behind the human suffering. Of course, there also has been probably a devastation as far as with species as well.
And that begs the question as to whether this is nature by way of a natural occurrence or if it was man-made from all the things we've done in our history, from underground nuclear testing, the atomic bombs, the thousands of things that we've dropped just to experiment. Our first episode on this show was in homage to War of the Worlds. It was the 70th anniversary tribute to H.G. Wells and Orson Welles' live performance that basically changed the face of radio. And it was entitled Big Feats, Wars of This World. As you can see, if you looked at that list, these things are fighting for their lives. And so, we did a reenactment of that. And to try to bring it up to date, this invasion wasn't coming from Martians, it was coming from the space junk that's hovering above the planet.
Didn't we just recently have a big fallout?
It is in the news that, when the news comes on and says that, space debris from satellites is about to rain somewhere, anywhere indiscriminately, it's cause for alarm. And from that first show, we pointed out the fact that I believe it's the Soviet Union sends over 1,000. I got to go back and see 1,000. I got to look at it. We'll review that. I'll have those figures for you before the show is over because it was from our first show. But the United States also, we send a lot of satellites up there because we need to tweet and fast and Instagram, and we need that, we live in a digital world, so they're constantly replacing these satellites. But what happens to the old ones? Whenever you see an image of Earth, it's just a beautiful picture of Earth. But when you think about it, it's crowded up there. It's very crowded up there, Let's take a break, and we're going to come back in a few minutes to break it down. All right.
Sounds good.
You in every language spoken by every species on Earth. How many species become extinct each day? Experts say 35 to 200 species extinctions per day. Look, it's Superman. No, Iron Man. No, it's not a man, it's Big Feats. Big Feats is Earth's first and only mascot for Earth's environment. He is also the voice for the endangered. Big Feats wants to make the first blockbuster film to show mankind how to save the world from real destructions, then donate earnings to wildlife organizations. Take that, other superheroes. Please donate and get a special link to the online global premiere titled Big Feats for Earth. Thank you in every language spoken by every species on Earth.
All right, I'm pretty proud of that. That just came in. That's going to be part of the crowdfunding campaign that we're going to be launching next week. We hope that it is the biggest crowdfunding campaign in history. If you don't know about crowdfunding, let me give you a little history about it. The industry has been around for just a few years. And this year is projected to reach about over $5 billion in donations. So there are sites like Kickstarter and Indiegogo and GoFundMe, and basically anybody that has a great idea, you register for free. If you have a little video, your success rate is a lot better if you have a video. You can, people use it for everything because they have medical emergencies or they just need help with their rent. You never know what you need. One of the most successful crowdfunding campaigns of all time was Pebble Watch. These guys asked for $100,000 and they got over $10 million in 27 days for a watch. Now, what I'm proposing is that you donate toward Big Feats for the environment. I want Big Feats to be the vision is for him to be a global brand. Okay, not only just the face of the environment, but the force of the voice of the environment as well. Since I've been a member of the Screen Actors Guild for over 30 years, I said, well, let's make a movie. And that way we can introduce all the things that we want to do and simplify it. Let's make a superhero film about a superhero that actually saves the world from real destruction. Mark, can you, if you've never gone to Mojo Box Office, it's an entertaining place to be. Can you look up Thor and just share with us, let our viewers see how much Thor has made.
Oh.
It'll give you everything about it. Just the last Thor that just came up. You can show all of them.
Well, I know for a fact that the media have been really corresponding a lot of the effects of that because one of the biggest box office hit last weekend, in effect. The number one.
There it is. All right, now if you click the link to it, it'll take you to it, and it might even give you it will give you. That's what we want to see right there.
Yeah.
So, that's how much it's made. And then we've got the worldwide numbers that are right down there. You can take a look at those. You see that box right there?
Which one?
It's worldwide. Should be right over there if it's...
It's going to give you a full gross.
Full gross of whatever's going on right there, as a matter of fact.
Oh, the foreign?
Yeah, foreign. Okay, and then it should have the total up there, of what it's made. Now, that's a list.
Oh, here it is.
Is that, now wait a minute, that might be great. Now, is that a list of all the superhero films right there, or is that just a...
No, this is the word foreign.
Okay, all right. Now, go back up and show our viewer, I want to show you how to work this site. Type in superhero movies, or just superhero.
This is basically giving like a comp of what the success of other superheroes movies has really done and how important they are really to society because it gets a big attraction.
Well, I've written a script, and I tell you how it basically goes. And environmental celebrities get together for Earth Day. Mm-hmm. And they're fired up about it, but at the same token, they're a little disheartened by the fact that Earth Day is just one day. You go out and you do a big show, and then you got to wait 365 days before you can get the world passionate about it again, right? And so the celebrities in the room, amongst them, is like, 10 or 20 of them play superheroes. Mm-hmm. So they say, well, let's challenge Hollywood to make a blockbuster film that can raise hundreds of millions of dollars, and it'll be the first film in history where the majority of the box office actually goes to reputable wildlife donations to do something.
Definitely needed.
It's like, can we make a movie to save the world for real, though? We love, all our superheroes saving the world from fictional destruction. Can't wait to see it, right? But there's very real destruction happening around us. Our planet is threatened, species are threatened, and ultimately we're threatened. So can we make a movie to save the world from real destruction? And ultimately, it'll be up to the public to decide, and it starts with those that participate in the crowdfunding campaign, which will be on Indiegogo. It'll be titled Making Big Feats. That'll be the name of the campaign, and we're going to launch next week. We're just trying to put some more visuals and tie up some loose ends for you. And when we launch that on the next show, we want to raise the money to be able to do that film. Ryan, are we able to see what other numbers are doing in the box office? Other superhero
more
movies?
Specific than superhero. Superhero didn't.
Oh, okay. Now I have a link. I'm gonna send it straight to you. Let me see. If you go to genres, go there on the left-hand side. You go to genres.
Marvel heroes.
That'll work too.
Let's put Marvel.
But I've done the due diligence. It's billions. It's billions of dollars. I mean, and that's just from the U.S. box office. That's not the global box office. That's not from the toys and the merchandising and the, all the things. I can't see the screen from here. Does it say action hero? Or superheroes?
You know, while we're looking for that, you know, with superhero movies, you know, that I notice, and they all these calamities that happens, you know, that no one's tweaking to the point, or twerking to the point is a new word that they use nowadays.
Not twerking.
Of the damages that goes on through the superhero destructive force. These enormous bombs and super energy and lightning bolts and all this, and it eventually hurts the environment again. And it threatens again, you know, so there's something to think about.
It is.
Definitely something to think about.
It is.
I mean, from a superhero perspective at the end of the day.
Now, look at those numbers. You got Marvel Avengers that, you know, it made over $600 million straight up. You know, if you look at all it, I mean, just think about it. Just one movie. You know, what's the number one common denominator that's separating many of these species from life? Number one is awareness. So Big Feats gives them a voice and introduces you to them. But it's a voice that celebrities can share. So basically the premise of the film is who wants to be the voice of the American eagle? Who wants to be the voice of the panda? Who's going to step up and represent the tiger? You know, black rhino, the mountain gorillas.
The Tapir in Belize.
The Tapir in Belize. You know, and that's the assignment. That brings us back to the assignment. You know, on this show, it's a global show that I'm able to go back to all the countries that I've played basketball in and connect with those kids, give them that assignment, and then they can have a voice to speak on behalf of them. So it's a chorus. So it's not just celebrities, but Big Feats provides Big Feats opportunities for everybody, children of all ages, literally, and every socioeconomic status. It all affects us. We all need Big Feats, right? We all need Big Feats. That's what we need. This is one of the feat I wore in an Academy Award-winning film. Well, the movie Makeup, Rick Baker, got won an Academy Award for makeup. And that was for Big Feats. Yeah. Oh, thanks, man. Well, it was, you know, Kevin Peter Hall was a star in the movie, and that was my man. He passed away. I did the stunts, but, you know, a lot of the movie is, you see me just doing Big Feats too. And then the television series went on to do 70-something episodes. And so some of you may have watched that growing up. And now, we reached the point in the story where I'd like you to, can you pull up the Big Feats from Michael Jackson?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, Big Feats from Michael Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't talked about this for 21 years, you know. The fact that I signed a confidentiality agreement, which is expired, wasn't the motive. It was just like, you know, just something that happened. But somebody that loved Harry from Harry and the Hendersons was Michael Jackson. So I'm doing a television series. I'm seeing all these exotic animals around the soundstage at Universal. And I'm like, you know, what's going on here? And they said, well, Michael Jackson's doing something top secret. Well, whatever Mike does is top secret. We can't wait to see what it is. So I go onto my soundstage at Universal, and there's Michael going through all my top secret animated stuff that Rick Baker had made for Harry. And it was like 21 different remote control heads. We had 6 guys operating it. It was an amazing thing at the time,
Big
right?
operation.
Oh, it was huge, man. So Michael was like, you know, happy to meet me. I was happy to meet him, to say the least. And he had this bright idea. He wanted to do practical jokes on Superstars with me wearing the Bigfoot suit. Okay. You might, right? Well, aside from the fact he paid me a Pop King's ransom to do it, He was a comedic genius. This guy had a very serious sense of timing, man. He was funny, dude. Mike was, we know the side of Mike we see as an entertainer, but one of the hardest forms of entertainment, they say, is comedy. And I'm telling you, Mike was funny. And, he was a straight man. Pardon me. He was a straight man. And Big Feats was Big Feats. Now, I don't know if Steven Spielberg, this is 21 years ago, was ever informed, because he was one of the executive producers on Harry and the Hendersons. I don't know if he was ever informed that Michael was renting me out to do what we were doing. It's relevant because that footage is like bullion at the bottom of a Spanish galleon ready to be, raised up and turned into some sort of sequel. And Mike used to encourage me all the time. He said, hey, you need to have ownership of your own thing. You bring Bigfoot to life for everybody else. You ought to make your own Bigfoot character to life. So I said, well, at the end of Harry and the Hendersons, spoiler alert, there's several Bigfoot that walk out into the wilderness. And so I'm offering to make one of those Bigfoot's Big Feats. Mm-hmm. And he's the one, so that way I can wear the same Academy Award winning costume. And if Mr. Spielberg is interested in putting an E.T. touch on it, then we can have a blockbuster with an Academy Award winning suit that can raise hundreds of millions of dollars, to save the environment. Now, that's their choice. The option is there. And that's what, I'd like to raise that money for, so that we can go to the table, because Michael filmed everything that we did. The estate has that footage. So it leads to the fact that, I'm going to save some of the story, but let's just say that a Bigfoot introduced Michael Jackson to Michael Jordan. And we all know how that turned out to be. We had Jam and a bunch of other stuff. And then I wound up playing a couple of cartoon characters in the movie Space Jam. But which would also be great if some of the cartoon characters that are endangered, and you'd be surprised how many of them are, got together with Big Feats, and then they got to be able to talk and speak to save those, save their species. We're going to take another break, and we're going to come back in a moment, and more Big Feats in a minute. Thank you.
I'm excited about this.
How many species become extinct each day? Experts say 35 to 200 species extinctions per day. Look, it's Superman. No, Iron Man. No, it's not a man, it's Big Feats. Big Feats is Earth's first and only mascot for Earth's environment. He is also the voice for the endangered. Big Feats wants to make the first blockbuster film to show mankind how to save the world from real destructions, then donate earnings to wildlife organizations. Take that, other superheroes. Please donate and get a special link to the online global premiere titled Big Feats for Earth. Thank you in every language spoken by every species on Earth.
Welcome back to Big Feats, and it's a great show. Let's pick up on this contest we're doing in Belize.
Yes.
As we wait for Nigel to arrive from Belize. He just flew in, so we hope he gets here for the show. To recap, it's an assignment. We know the backdrop now. The children of Belize are going to be given an assignment to pick out an endangered species. They're going to befriend that species, and they're going to speak in its behalf. And they can do it by way of song, poetry, painting, rap, dance, whatever they come up with. There's going to be a global contest.
Yeah,
all right?
they're very resourceful when it comes to bringing something new to the table as well.
Okay, and we can take that, since Nigel is the film commissioner, and we can run that, and you're the Academy Award-winning film director.
in Belize terminology.
Yeah,
But just knowing that we have UCLA has inducted the documentary, which offers others to be able to be educated on the plight that we have right now, because at the end of the day, the Green Day arises is just as this Big Feet bringing this awareness so the children could be infused and creative and learn more about what's going on in their country and what's being threatened to be extinct. A lot of people are unaware of the knowledge that is now in front of us right here with Big Feats, is bringing that education and that knowledge and information to all those so they can be more prepared, more aware to be able to get involved.
Now, you know what I like to do, if possible, before we go, I like to show a clip of your movie if it's not catching you off guard. And I know you brought a couple of other things you wanted to show. I wanted to talk about, there's 122 endangered species in Central America alone. All right? And Belize has its trouble in paradise. So the tapir is one of the animals that the children can seek out. What's some of the others?
Oh, well, I mean, we can go on most everything in Belize, because Belize is a green zone in an eco-paradise, and the threats that are bombarding those various things comes from the waste and the spell of waste and litter that's coming from the tourism sector and from the inhabitant with more civic pride. Because once we drink the water in the plastic bag and eat the food out of the styrofoam cup and pour the motor oil in our vehicles, we find that these debris are ending up floating on the waters, which is indeed a direct influx into the deterioration of marine life. And Belize, of course, has the world's second largest coral barrier reef on the Western Hemisphere, which is the first in the Western Hemisphere, even second to Australia. So we have a coral reef that scuba divers on the planet travels to witness this amazing marine life. And then we have a threatening situation going on board that the pollutant and the waste of mankind is encroaching upon what we see right now as being a problem of the mountain cow, which is the normal fishes that Belize is a fisherman's dream as well. We deal with a lot of resources in the water, and those things are being challenged like never before. Before we even get to land, the water animals to this place that is so dependent upon water for survival is also being encroached upon in that way. So it's endless. They said there's 120. It goes on beyond just the common thing. You have, Belize, the biggest insect in Belize, I would say to most people, we all know ants is everywhere, but the mosquitoes are very known in a third world eco-friendly environment of being a challenge indeed. Imagine if we lost all the mosquitoes, what would that do to the chain? So everything is important. And I would think that all species and everything should need to be open to light, so we don't have the ones that are not threatened to be in a threatening situation at the end of the paradox, as opposed to jumping on board before. So I give validation to every last one of the species that are threatened on the planet currently right now. So we should all just do more investigativeness and research and finding that stuff. And I'm going to really go tap into the resource of the Belize source and bring a definitive number and a list of those animals specifically, so we can be able to challenge those children who may be unaware of what is endangered in Belize and bring it into fruition, so we all get a chance to learn and educate ourselves.
Well, that's part of the beautiful assignment for children worldwide. Find out what's endangered in your own backyard, first and foremost. And the other part of it is if you have the option, you have a favorite mascot. You got a favorite sports team, is that mascot endangered? Your school, from elementary school to college, junior college, everybody has a mascot. Find out if that mascot is endangered, and then tune into Big Feats and see what it is you can do to help, save that mascot. I, for one, am going to appeal to a lot of people that I know. I'm going to say, hey, man, you can't let your school mascot as a former ball player die on your watch. I got passionate about this because of Michael Jackson. I mean, he's a guy that started, the Heal the World Foundation. You know what I mean? And, I really got motivated after his untimely death. Clyde, how did you, what got you excited about this? What put the hook on you?
The more awareness and that we're all becoming in line with the planet and our presence, versus the existence of everything that belongs here on the planet is thriving. We uneducated we tend to do destructive things not knowing. But with awareness, we tend to take a second thought into what we may have done before that have been destructive, and learn a new path of being aligning ourselves and finding ways of how we can preserve those things that we may have been inadvertently destroying once before. And this is such a perfect platform for the global community, as you said, for the children in their own backyard. And it's bringing more awareness of a connectivity in the sustainability of us all at the end of the day. You know, if we learn to care about those things that are easily to be extinct in our own backyard, and take a different look and perspective to that, we find ourselves caring for the human species above all. Further educating our friends and carrying the messages to those who may not have television and TV, may not have a radio and TV, but may have a particular or infused purpose in protecting and being that safeguard as a first respondent to keep an eye out on those things that are easily trickling away from the planet. You know, we only can go back to the saber-toothed tiger. And we know that we only wander in museums of this enormous, just in magnitude animal that was on this gracing this planet is gone. And all we're finding is bones and reminiscence. And so we want to make sure that we just keep a visual, an aligned purpose in walking aligned with nature and the things who are inhabiting this planet as well. We never know. An animal might solve some of men's mystery. Once science and education becomes more, we might find out that the whale might be the cure for some ailment that might be Alzheimer's. We never know. It leaves the discovery open if they're here, and it erases it if they are gone.
Well, the one thing that's a certainty is that, everything is here for a reason, and we are inextricably linked. And, it's amazing to me, that what's going on in honeybees.
Honeybees,
colony collapse with honeybees. I mean, they had whether it's insecticides or pesticides or, the assault. They had an assault in Oregon, I believe, where they killed 50,000 bees. It's chronicled as the biggest, largest mass genocide of bees in the history of mankind. Now, the rationale escapes me because you're killing bees because you're trying to protect crops, yet bees are responsible for 90% of the world's food that we eat, one way or the other. I mean, because, if we can't pollinate what a bee can pollinate.
You can't.
So if a bee is pollinating, be prepared to lose your avocados, your peaches, your nectarines, not to mention watermelon, vegetables, and then there's other species that eat this that, for those of us, that eat meat, they need to eat. It's just
domino effect.
And so there needs to be some accountability, and that's what Big Feats is about. When we come back, we are going to show you an exciting new apparel application that's going to be available on the crowdfunding campaign next week. It's a way to literally light the way for our children. It's a job creator. The little entrepreneurs are going to be able to make these things. And when you see what it is we got to show you, you'll get it. So stay tuned for Big Feats.
I can't wait for this one.
All right.
How many species become extinct each day? Experts say 35 to 200 species extinctions per day. Look, it's Superman. No, Iron Man. No, it's not a man, it's Big Feats. Big Feats is Earth's first and only mascot for Earth's environment. He is also the voice for the endangered. Big Feats wants to make the first blockbuster film to show mankind how to save the world from real destructions, then donate earnings to wildlife organizations. Take that, other superheroes. Please donate and get a special link to the online global premiere titled Big Feats for Earth. Thank you in every language spoken by every species on Earth. How many species become extinct each day? Experts say 35 to 200 species extinctions per day. Look, it's Superman. No, Iron Man. No, it's not a man, it's Big Feats. Big Feats is Earth's first and only mascot for Earth's environment. He is also the voice for the endangered. Big Feats wants to make the first blockbuster film to show mankind how to save the world from real destructions, then donate earnings to wildlife organizations. Take that, other superheroes. Please donate and get a special link to the online global premiere titled Big Feats for Earth. Thank you in every language spoken by every species on Earth. How many species become extinct each day? Experts say 35 to 200 species extinctions per day. Look, it's Superman. No, Iron Man. No, it's not a man, it's Big Feats. Big Feats is Earth's first and only mascot for Earth's environment. He is also the voice for the endangered. Big Feats wants to make the first blockbuster film to show mankind how to save the world from real destructions, then donate earnings to wildlife organizations. Take that, other superheroes. Please donate and get a special link to the online global premiere titled Big Feats for Earth. Thank you in every language spoken by every species on Earth.
All right. I was introduced to an exciting apparel application. I've never seen anything like it. You're going to see a sample of it shortly. What it does is it has the ability to animate, light up, and animate letters, numbers, pictures, words, logos, and light displays. Changes colors, changes fonts. It can pretty much do whatever you want to do. We recently have developed a process to make it solar, which is environmentally friendly, and that's basically what I've been waiting for, to light up the world using the sun. The other thing about it is that as a brand, Big Feats brand, you get time, you see that animated logos of ours, one of the things about Big Feats logo is when you see it, you'll know that the majority of the proceeds are going towards, saving, species. So you ready to show the jack? Let me give you a sample. This is just a sample. Next week, we're going to have a real top shelf video ready for the crowdfunding campaign. What we will be inviting you to do is to animate the most popular logos and brands in the world so that it can be a fundraising endeavor, to save different species. So I haven't taken this, even though I signed a contract with the Lakers, I haven't taken it to the Bus family, I haven't taken it to the NBA. You guys get a chance to see it first. But what'll happen is if we raise enough money, then I will then go out and purchase the licensing rights for the NBA, the NFL, the NCAA, and, all the corporate partners that we can have, so the people that are brand loyalists, when you see them lit up, know that you're lighting the way to literally save lives for that endless A to Z list of species that we showed at the top of the hour. Some of the brands, one is called Signature Collections. I'll have that logo ready for you the next time out. That basically is just going to animate the signature of a celebrity. One of the challenges that we had is that every superstar is already locked up by an apparel company, right? So how do you get them on board? Well, if you animate a celebrity signature under Signature Collections, that same celebrity that is giving voice to the creature that he, the species that he chose, that money goes to them, and in that way, it's not it shouldn't be, it shouldn't be an interest because it's just limited editions anyway. But limited editions can make a big difference. That's one of the brands.
Our species are limited editions.
Exactly,
right?
we are. Extinct. Did you coin the phrase Green Scouts?
Well, it's probably what the Green Scouts in Belize, for Belize, coined that, I think has been around sometimes, but no one has really had an active role to see how influential or how it can really make a difference in a third world country that is a eco paradise. It needs a Green Scout appeal, as opposed to creating new jobs and new visual watchdogs. Because the world is always needed for watchdogs, first responders. I like to always call it. I like to always say, stop waiting for a disaster to happen before you help, which is stop waiting for a species to become extinct before you can help. This is a time in 2013, the 21st century, that we are more apt to educate ourselves on the various things that, people are not educating themselves on: home, financing, health, and also the love of our animals and our neighbors and the things that goes on undetected around us that we carelessly don't take a second time to just stop for 1 second, and you will find something in your circumference that might be threatened from extinction. We have a war against a lot of things. The insecticide company and the big companies that make these things to control the pests in our daily lives. But when we find ourselves in the tropical jungles and the species that are threatened every day from pollutants, smog, waste, improper disposal of various toxic harm to the soil, which inadvertently goes right back into the food chain, because a lot of animals are close to the ground when they are looking for something to eat.
I've been to Belize, and it's paradise. I fell in love with it, and if I'm correct, is it one of? You've got the Mayan, ruins. You've got the second larger barrier reef in the world, which is just breathtaking. It's the one place in the world where you can get all three types of sports fishing all together. It's phenomenal. And I wound up marrying a Belizean girl, I have to say. Hi, dear. That Signature Collections logo just came in. Breaking news. This is what the brand will look like. And imagine that. If you see that lit up, know that we're out to try to save you. So we got a movie. So to recap, we have a mascot for the environment, Big Feats. Voice of the endangered species, Big Feats. We have Big Feats Endangered Species Collection, so he's got his apparel. You've got Signature Collections, so all the celebrities that sign on to give voice to all those that can't speak, for themselves. We got a movie proposal that we want to do so that we can raise money and awareness and show people how they can save the world. It's a how to save the world movie. And you know what else, Clyde? I'm proud to announce, man, and this is a good one. I like this one, man. This will be in the movie. Actually, there's two things I want to announce. One of them is I want to do an online world. Your donations will help put together an online world. You know how you go online, you subscribe, you put your money down, and you get an avatar, and you can be anything you want to be? Well, how about you become an endangered species? Your avatar is an endangered species. And so that way you can proverbially put yourselves in the shoes of those that are endangered. And you can play your little fight for life games, but it's a real game. And so you can see what they have to go to, creatures that are indigenous to certain areas. You have keystone species. You have a species that if this species go, an entire ecosystem goes. It's dependent upon it. So, you can choose the character you want to be, but you're paying into helping to save them while being educated about what they're going through. You know what I'm saying?
Sounds like a 401.
Yeah. So
putting a little something into something that's going to actually benefit you in the long run. Yeah, I like that.
Exactly. So that's a video game that your donations will help to supply. And then there's also another thing, man. The costume itself. If we're not able to get the rest of the Harry suit, then we have to have a Big Feats costume made. And I'd like to launch special effects. You ever see the movie, the TV series Face Off?
Absolutely, my favorite.
Face Off, man, is a phenomenal show. Every week these guys come up with, man, we're making the most incredible animations. Well, how about a contest to make the mascot for the environment? Make the costume for the mascot of the environment. Cosplay players would be welcome. And then we'll judge that. We can have that done on the show. You can submit your entries online, and we can see, you know, not just the physical suit that can be done. We're talking about prosthetics. It could be animatronics. But you can submit cartoon characters, drawings, things like that, comic book characters. Remember, we're talking about a superhero here. Superman started, most superheroes start with a gradual progression. You start out with a comic book, and then it turns into a movie. It's a long process, toys and the whole 9 yards. We're talking about, you know, losing a species every 20 minutes. So we don't have time to waste. We need big feats, and we need big feats now. So in a nutshell, you know, that's basically, you know, what it's about. If Nigel is not here within the next, and we've got just like 5 minutes left of show, what we can do is pre-tape him, or we'll find out how long he's going to be in Los Angeles, and then we'll get him live, you know, because that's very important.
Well, one of the things I know for a fact that, you know, that he definitely wants to be here, and he wants to set a precedence, you know, because he understands the urgency and the calling right now that is upon us to be active in taking these steps into creating the unusual. You know, I always say, you know, USC have a course, you know what I'm saying, the unconventional way and the conventional way, but making it work. It's really what we are upon right now. And I know that if he's not going to be able to make it here today, if his flight, I can't say exactly what happened at the airport, but I know that he is willing to stay a little while longer here in Los Angeles, just to make sure that he can make sure that his hands and stamp is on this, to be able to bring it to fruition, let people know that there's more and more people joining on every day. I just talked to 10 of my friends yesterday, and guess what? They're on board.
My man.
And that's the easy as sending a text. The social media aspect of it is really crucial right now. We're going to take full advantage of the social media to be able to raise funds and to be able to further bring awareness to those people who might be unaware of big feats right now and the feat that we have in front of us. You need to join on board.
Well, you know what, Kai, I appreciate that, man. And I got to tell you, this show is really going to help get us some traction, because once we start getting those children involved and we start getting that footage from Belize, here in the United States, Canada, we go to the spots that I used to play in overseas, Philippines, Costa Rica, Argentina, France, Switzerland, Belgium. You know, we get those kids involved. You know, you've got all the potential for viral video, but I mean, you know, when kids start giving endangered species a voice, we just need to stand back and watch the action. That's basically what it is, because they'll now have what's called an enduring lesson plan and an emotional attachment. You know, and then we're going to want to check in. We're going to want to see, hey, how's their artwork doing, their fundraising effort doing, you know, all the things that they're doing. Did you have some illustrations I see over there, man, that are just fascinating?
Well, this is, right now I'm going through it. Like I said, I just returned from Belize from doing part 2 of the documentary, From Within the Shadows of Belize, A Green Day Arises. I actually worked on a new documentary that's coming out, and it involves the youth. It's surprising that we are speaking about the youth and what we are entrusted to be able to deliver to them. And I'm going through some selective pictures that shows the Belize Zoo, that shows the equal presence of Belize. So I'll be making that available to bring our listeners and viewers more in line to what might be at stake in Belize for those who have not ever traveled there. And from the time to time, you might be able to check your Google. But the personal experience is always one that tells a little bit more deeper story, you know, because you live it after the camera is finished. And what we have here now is a priceless gem. Like every place on the planet that finds itself with a threatened species, we need to protect our gems and care a lot more for each other. Because we find out if we care for each other, we find out caring allows the people we care for to care for something else. And the domino effect is caused in that particular way. We stand here, raising the banner on a plight that causes us to be in tune with what's going on in the world, in tune with what's going on in other people's backyard, in tune in finding what our children, imagination and wonders go endlessly, but if they don't have the animals there to dream and the storybooks, it becomes a fiction. it's something that's there, not no longer able to see. So it's important that we level this playing field of survival on the planet and enrich ourselves to enrich our children with having the gifts that God gave a little while longer for them to enjoy.
You know, we're winding down here. I want to just recap and say that this is a contest for children of all ages.
Indeed.
You know, even though it's going to be implemented with supervision into school systems and after-school programs around the world, if you're watching and you're listening, and you got your mascot that you love is endangered, your school mascot's endangered, your favorite sports team's mascot, or if you're passionate about giving a voice to them, you have a talent, you know. Next week, we're going to have everything in place for you to be able to submit online. If you want to enter into the contest, you know, to help out, you'll be able to do that. And next week, in the last couple of minutes, I want to announce that some money has been put up so that, and this is a big one, Clyde. This is a drum roll moment. You know how, you know, we celebrate Earth Day around the world?
That's normally in the April month, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, it's 22nd, somewhere around there. How we celebrate Earth Day around the world, what's wind up going to happening is that it's going to be the first interactive Earth Day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
From various locations, you'll be able to tie into each other.
The wheels are in motion. That some giant video conference. You know the trucks that projected the president's inauguration?
Yes.
Okay, the ones that were parked in the National Square, National,
Plaza?
Yeah, Park. They've, down payment has been put down so that they can be positioned so that not only can Earth Day participants celebrate together, but they can exchange ideas, showcase innovation, inspire each other, encourage one another, and, so that we're going to explore that a little bit more. And then also, in the screenplay, that's how Big Feats is introduced to the general public. Because, Big Feats loves human beings, but he can't mingle with them because he's afraid he's going to get shot. So Earth Day is one time that he can show up, mingle with human beings, but this particular time, he's mingling in with costume characters that are there, and he inadvertently winds up in a contest to be the mascot for the environment. So stay tuned for Big Feats next week. Big Feats out.